Boom, and welcome to another video of the Flowing Dutchman. Now in this video I'm going to talk about the best exercise for the mace. More we get conscious of our movement patterns, the better we get at it. So for people that are working to better their posture, there's a reason why in Varanasi they don't practice a 360 like this. They don't allow it. Everything, if you go really in the nitty-gritty of things, this move has it all. The mace as a tool has been inspired by the Gada that is found in Varanasi. It's a very specific form that these Gadas have, and a Gada can be many things. It can be a prize for wrestlers, it's usually a silver or a golden one. It can be a Kalaripaitu Gada, which is used for martial arts and fighting. Some people call the Mudgars, the heavy clubs, also Gada. It depends on the state. But originally the mace was inspired by Jake Shannon, who was inspired by Karl Koch, who was inspired by the Great Gama. And he learned how to swing the mace from the Great Gama. And he taught him with a Gada, which was, I think it was round shaped. There's an old video still out there. This technique that they use in India is, in my mind, the 300, also been used and called the 10-2, but usually 10-2 is a little bit more for longer maces because they have to go like that, and with a smaller mace it doesn't make sense. And in India I also see everyone doing it in between the neck and the shoulder. So the 300 goes like that. It goes hip to shoulder, hip to shoulder. And that's the only thing you're really allowed to do there in the Akaras. I've tried to do a little bit of flow with the Gadas there, and they usually look at me like, hey, you're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. You're not doing it right. So when that mace was brought over or reinvented in a metal shape in the US, it started to get smaller too, which allowed different movements to occur, just like happened with the light clubs or Indian clubs. When they got to England, they got smaller and smaller, and then they started doing different exercises with them, with a lot more complexity to it, a lot more creativity and variety in the amount of exercises possible. That 300 combines left and right. You don't have to think about switching your hands. Once perfected, it challenges all the muscle groups that are unique to swing in a mace. What's unique about a mace is that you actually have to swing behind you, right? So what you're doing here is come into a position which usually is not practiced by people. It opens up the lats, it allows your triceps to bend and work in that sense, to stretch all the way. And it allows for your posture to be strong in a vulnerable position because your body kind of wants to move backwards like that, right? But because you have to brace and your core has to be tight, it allows you to stay strong in a posturally correct position. So your chest has to be upright and your upper back has to be straight. So for people that are working to better their posture, actually learning how to stand here with proper posture, well, the more time you spend in a position, the more you actually go towards that position. That's why if you're sitting all the time, you eventually gonna look like that. Exactly, the cameraman just turned up his shoulders. He was like, oh my God, I'm starting to slouch with this camera in my hand. Well, that's what it is, you know, that's what it is. The more we get conscious of our movement patterns, the better we get at it. So that 300, it involves all of it. Like some would say, hey, the 360 is the best exercise. The thing is, if you do a 360, you still have to do the other side. And the middle part, it does involve more biceps. So the thing that a 300 does, it kind of eliminates the activation of the biceps and maybe a little bit of the chest, but that's all minimal in a 360 anyway. Like it's not that you're fully activating here and pressing out. It's not the function of the chest. And the upper part of the chest that's used for a pullover does get activated in this position, right? You pull it down, and in that sense, that's still active. So for muscle activation, you don't really need to do a 360 instead of a 300. Then again, a 300 is is also ideal in all the weight ranges. There's a reason why in Varanasi they don't practice a 360 like this. They don't allow it because it's very uncomfortable. If you want to do with a 35 kilo Gada, a small bamboo handle, which is this long, with a giant stone, you don't want to balance it here in the center, right? You can only leave it on the shoulder like this. So this movement, the 300, is spectacular in the sense that it's good for everything. And it will be your best investment in technique perfection. Once you really start to dive deep into this movement, you will start to understand some more complexities. You will start to understand that this movement encapsulates everything that's possible with the mace, up to a point where you do one-handed swings, where you hold it in different positions, everything. If you go really in the nitty-gritty of things, this move has it all. So, in my mind, the 300 is the most fundamental, has the most history, and yeah, it's just a fantastic feeling move that you can do with lightweight, heavyweight. You can incorporate it into flows. You can use it as a transition between 360s from side to side. It is a very diverse movement, and yeah, maybe you don't agree with this. Well, then go watch another video. I think it's the best move. If you want to learn more on the technique of a 300, and because it's not as easy, you may have tried it with your mace at home, and you'll notice that there are many facets to it. I made a course specifically for longer and heavier maces. It's called Macegadada 101 and Macegada 6. The 6 is a progression on the 101, and yeah, in my mind, it's the best course. It's beautifully shot, professionally done. I'm having a trainee going through all the exercises. The gadas in the videos are absolutely amazing, stunning pieces of art, and we'll guide you through starting with the absolute fundamentals, the 300, the 360, and then we'll take it all the way to one-handed stuff. And it's beautiful. I think it's your best introduction to the tool, and it will save you a lot of energy finding the right videos, experimenting which is best, and it will give you a framework which will absolutely work wonders for your technique. And in that sense, it is an investment. It's an investment, and you'll never look back. See you in the next video, guys. If you're wondering what the hell is he doing, well, you can learn all of this in Maceflow, Macegadada 6. Boom, the Maester has set out a completely new path towards mastery of the Gada or Mace. During 6 weeks, you'll go through an intensive training cycle which will increase your skill progressively. In the first week, you'll learn about the fundamental 300 and the 360. In the second week, you'll learn how to use your legs with the 300 and 360. In the third week, you'll learn about planes and directions. And in the fourth week, you're going to spice it up by using pivots. In the fifth week, we'll open up the world of the shoulders. And then in the last week, the sixth week, we're going to open up the world of single arm swings. And in the seventh week, the Maester said, it was good. And you may now realize that you have mastered the art of swinging the Gada mace. Are you ready to take the path of the Maester? Join now at DutchflowAcademy.com. Boom! Thank you for your attention. It's greatly appreciated. If you like the content, please consider to share, like and subscribe to my channel. If you want to see similar videos, you can see them over here. If you're interested in learning more from me as a coach, I've got online courses on DutchFlowAcademy.com. Keep flowing, Ram Ram.